Hello there and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Dr. Brittany Blackwell, and we will be lightly covering the topic of rest. Did you know that rest and sleep are not the same thing? I had a very interesting conversation with a loved one recently where we openly shared our struggles with, despite getting the recommended number of hours of sleep for an adult human, it was still the case that we were waking up not feeling refreshed. Well, it turns out that it has a lot to do with us experiencing rest deficits. Yes, plural, across multiple areas. Dr. Sandra Dalton-Smith pioneered this incredible framework where she detailed the different types of rests that we need in order to truly feel rejuvenated. 1 through 7, these include physical rest, mental rest, sensory rest, creative rest, emotional rest, social rest, as well as spiritual rest. Now, to briefly go over what each thing entails, let's start with physical rest. Dr. Dalton-Smith broke this down into a further two categories. There's passive physical rest and active physical rest. With passive, that can include sleeping, napping. With active, that can include light restorative activities such as yoga, light stretching, or even massage. With mental rest, it may be the case that even though you are in the bed, your thoughts may still be racing. What you can do is keep a journal by your bedside. Dr. Dalton-Smith suggested that could work, as well as utilizing this practice called thought diffusion. She offered that a great analogy that can be used in this case could be pretending that your thoughts are floating down a river stream. And instead of trying to go and grab them, just watch them float and float away. That's another technique that can use. And I've personally tried that. It certainly does help as well. So the next type of rest that we absolutely need is sensory rest. We live in a world where everything demands our attention 24/7. There's noise, there's bright lights, a lot could be going on, and sometimes we just need to unplug. Dr. Dalton-Smith suggests small tweaks can certainly help with us reclaiming that sense of rest in that area again. So you could do something maybe like instead of driving your car or listening to music on your way home from work, perhaps you can drive in silence. That's one way that can help. And also being intentional about practicing moments of intentional sensory deprivation. The next type of rest that we absolutely need is creative rest. Allow yourself to immerse into the beauty of nature or into cultural spaces to be inspired. It's about reawakening the awe and the wonder, as Dr. Dalton-Smith describes. That's also part of our rest. So the next type of rest that we absolutely need is emotional rest. Now, it's so important for our well-being to feel that we can be our authentic selves. When we're in an environment where that is suppressed, it's very difficult for us to feel a sense of rest in that particular area in our lives. And this ties in actually with the next type of rest that we absolutely need, which is social rest. Social rest includes being around folks who are positive and just healthy connection. The quality of our relationships, it's absolutely vital to our well-being and life in general. And so it's important for us to look at social and emotional rest together because they often go hand in hand. The final type of rest Dr. Dalton-Smith describes is spiritual rest. It doesn't necessarily have to be affiliated with religion, but it can be. But it can also include even community involvement, doing something that gives you a sense of higher purpose, a deep sense of belonging, feeling loved, feeling valued, feeling heard. All of those things contribute to our well-being and to us feeling rested if those areas are nurtured. Now, those are the 7 types of rest Dr. Dalton-Smith went into, which you can read more about in her book, Sacred Rest. And you can also listen to her amazing TED Talk where she breaks these concepts down. If you have found this information useful, Please feel free to save this video, like the post, and even share with a friend. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep shining, my friends, and take care.